Now after you take the first hind quarter off, you'll still have this one last hind quarter. And we'll go back through here and we'll kind of cut off little pieces of meat we might have missed or whatever. We'll cut through. But I want to show you how to go in here without gutting a deer. You're going to go in here. You just cut a little tiny incision with your finger. Cut a little incision here, and you just take your finger and your hand there and you just make sure there's no guts there. So you can run this and you just cut this wide open. This is the gut cavity. And what we're going to do, we're going to go in here and get some loins. These are really, really good. And this doe is really, really fat, so they're hard to see and hard to get to. But these, loin is right here. So what I'm doing is I'm working my way and I'm pushing the guts and the bladder. So your bladder's right there. You do not want that on your meat. And that's the thing about gutting and doing all that you can. But what you're going to do, right here is their loin. You take your knife, you run your knife in there until you cut to the top. Then you just run your fingers in there. Make sure you don't cut yourself. And you just bone that loin. It's just a little piece of meat, but it's very good. It's very tender. And you can do this without gutting. And that's how you get that loin out of there. Perfectly good, real tender meat. Real good for steak. There's just two of those. We'll go in and get the other one on the other side. But basically, you just don't want to cut anything in here. I'm just keeping away from this deer's guts, intestine, bladder, any of that stuff. What I want to do is I want to go in here and I want to get, what I'm doing is I'm getting this opened up on the side here. And with that one hind quarter gone, it's easy to do. You just take your knife, run it up in there, run your hand in there. You want to make sure you got to be careful not to cut yourself. That's probably one of the most easiest places to get yourself cut is when you're cutting that loin out. Basically, there it is. Now we're done with that part. The front shoulders are off. We've taken the two back straps off. We've taken the neck meat off when we took the front shoulders off, and when we finished the back strap out, we took that out. Now we're ready to take the final hind quarter off. We're going to let this hit the ground. You'll notice that the hide's still on, the head's still on, the guts are still intact, all this so you can drag this off. And what you're going to do, you're going to come in here and you'll notice that when you cut this, you'll cut right here where the pelvic bone, and there's a seam there, just where the right leg and left leg are hooked in. And what you're going to do, you're just going to run that knife right there on that pelvic bone. And you just keep cutting that until you get to that ball joint. And the ball joint is right here. And you just keep cutting that and pulling on that, and the weight of that carcass will help you. You can see how that's and you just keep that boning knife next to the bone. And that's it. Hind quarters left hanging. What we're going to do, final thing, we cut this here. This is a lot of tendon in here. It's not good meat and you can go ahead and bone that and cut that knuckle if you want, you know, and bone that out. But we just take the bone cracking knife. It's a lot faster. And we just make sure that we have a good and once we get it broke, we go back to our boning knife. And right here's a good place a lot of times to have somebody come help you. Because this piece here is sometimes hard to do. But you can see where I broke that bone. Because you can take care of that and clean all that out later. Almost dropped it, but I didn't. I had a good hold of it. But there's the last hind quarter. The deer's done, no gutting. And next thing we'll show you is how to process your deer, how to put it into sausage, how to make it into steak, and enjoy a good super meal. Thanks. Check us out on jarvisfarm.com.